Hello, hello, hola! I'm at a place called Vertigo. You remember that song? Oh man, so you were not a U2 guy back in the day, huh?
I still am not.
Yeah, that was like the one song that would get stuck in my
Yeah,
head. And
yeah.
then I remember it was like on the iPhone or the iPod, I can't remember.
When
They
they
just randomly
people were
they
pissed
forced
about
it
it. I
on
remember
you.
that.
Man, I remember like I had to clear out so much music to do like an update on my playlist. And then as soon as I cleared it out, like all this U2 shit came in and I was like, I
Yeah,
did not ask for this. This is
yeah,
this is music assault.
yeah. Although if I could see them at the Sphere, I wouldn't say no to that in Vegas.
You could
Right?
give me video of a dog taking a dump on the Sphere at Vegas and I'm okay, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Tickets are free. Okay. I gotta experience that one time. No, I'd love to go to like a WWE or boxing or UFC or some kind of event at the Sphere, that would just be so freaking cool.
Yeah. I don't know if like you've seen it like where they have now like bars or whatever where they have something like similar but it's for like sports and it's like you're right there in the action basically with the big screen like obviously not to the extent of the Sphere but it's that like same idea where that you can just sit there and you're like right on the field.
Yeah, I think there's like 5 or 6 locations for whatever the company is, right?
Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a bunch of videos of people that they experienced WrestleMania by doing that because
Be sweet.
anymore WrestleMania is like it's like $1,200 for nosebleed seats for both
Yeah,
nights.
that's crazy.
I was like, no, I'm gonna pass. 'Cause I saw it was in Vegas last year, and I was
I'll
a little
watch it from
tempted.
I'll watch it from the comfort of my couch.
That's pretty much every sporting event for me. So how are you doing, man?
Doing good. Can't believe we're almost at the end of January already. I've got my 30th birthday coming up here relatively soon, so excited, I guess, for that. But no, just trucking along and living life. Dieting right now. I'm down almost pretty much 10 pounds over the course of January, which has been pretty good. Like first dieting phase in I don't know 2-3 years.
How's
So
your
that's
strength going now that you're like into
great.
your cutting phase? How's your strength maintaining?
It's been fine. Like haven't really noticed a dip or anything like that. Like I've got like I'm only training 3 days a week right now, uh, and I typically train like basically first thing in the morning. So like I think I'm kind of taking advantage of just I'm at kind of just my peak. Like for me, like training in the morning is typically best, whether it's 8 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Like that's when I feel my best. So I haven't noticed a big dip at the moment. And I'm planning a diet break here next week for like 2-3 weeks. So I'm really trying to break it up into just like 4 or 5 week chunks really of dieting and then coming back into maintenance. And part of it too is like I mentioned, I got my birthday coming up and there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got like 5 fun social events coming up in February where it's just like, well, I don't want to be dieting for this. So I
Yeah.
think I think that's gonna be pretty beneficial where like I'm not spending like an extended time in each dieting phase. Like I said, like my plan is kind of 4 or 5 weeks break for 1 to 2 and then get back at it. But I'm also only trying to get to about 200 pounds. And so it's not going to be like anything crazy like a prep or something.
Yeah. So are you doing refeeds on this cutting phase or are you just like straight
I
7 days a
mean,
week?
I'm probably like yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like this is probably like my most relaxed dieting I've ever done. Where it's like no, like I am tracking. I'd say like 98% of everything. But like maybe it's like a Friday or a Saturday. Like usually I have hockey on Fridays. Well, I'll have like 2 or 3 beers after hockey, and then go home and have dinner. And yeah, maybe I'm like 300-ish calories above like what my dieting macros are, but like I haven't noticed really that big of an effect. I even kind of took like a mini break last weekend, had the scale come up, but then it's like right back down. So yes and no, kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
No, I mean, even if it's just 300 calories, that's like That's
It's
probably not
really
even putting you back at maintenance level. It's just
no.
less aggressive deficit day.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'd say like maintenance for me, I don't know what the exact calories would be, but it's like 350 to 400 carb and like 70-ish fat, right? And then like I usually get around like a 175 protein, so at like 25, 2600 calories. But like I've always been someone who has had like a very like non-efficient metabolism, which is a good thing, right? Like we want something that's non-efficient because I burn quite easily. And so that's also been like a detriment to me though too, where like I know I don't really have to be super careful because like for me to like drop 10 pounds in 4 weeks, like that wasn't that hard for me to do, training 3 times a week, cardio 3 to 4 times a week, 20 minutes on that, and then hockey. Like that's all that I've done. 5 to 10,000 steps a day. Like that's it.
Just like that, Tyler's become the most hated guy on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, I mean, yeah, like back in the day too, like when I personal trained and I was doing, 25,000, 30,000 steps in like 8 hours, my calories I could maintain on like 5,000. Like it was, and I was powerlifting too, right? Like so, I've always had like a pretty good metabolism, but it's also then allowed bad habits to sink in because I know it doesn't really affect me that much.
There's always like two sides to the sword, right? It allowing some habits to kind of creep in, and you're able to just kind of let that foot off a little bit. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
I know I can get away with this, and then
yeah,
you look back and you're like, shit, if I would have pushed just a like little bit harder, if I'd have given that extra like 5% versus someone who does have a very highly efficient metabolism of it takes every bit of effort to easily burn calories, and you have to be consistent with the deficit. It's like, okay, the good news is what you're burning is just like pure body fat,
yeah, yeah. Like
but it's going to be a
yeah,
lot slower of a rate. And
yeah,
like for me, right, like I have a very efficient metabolism in the sense of people are shocked whenever I tell them what my maintenance calories are.
yeah. Like lower than you would expect. Yeah,
A lot lower. Yep. But
yeah. Like I've
that's
got a client like that. Like we're pretty much similar height and that type of stuff. Like, and he's fairly active. And like if I put him at like 250 carb, he starts gaining weight, right? And so it's like, yeah, like 225 is kind of like a maintenance. And so it just goes to show you just the vast difference between people and just like your genetic makeup of your metabolism.
yeah, like as long as I keep my calories between like 2100 to 2500 on any given day, like I pretty much maintain the same like 200 to 210,
Yeah,
But again, a lot of people would look at me and just go, "Holy shit, you have that much muscle and that's how
yeah,
low your metabolism is."
yeah,
It is what it is.
yeah.
It's just part of my
But it's
genetics. Now, the good thing
yeah,
is
it's all relative.
highly efficient metabolism also typically leads to longer lifespans.
Well, there
So
you
I'm
go.
crossing my fingers I can make it to 90 and just have
Yeah,
70 rough, hard years
yeah, yeah. But I
before I
do,
really clean it up for the last 20.
yeah. But I also like it's all relative, right? Like the again, like maybe like the client I brought up, like at 225, like he doesn't feel a whole lot of hunger. You put me at 225 carb, like I'm gonna be
You're starving.
struggling with hunger. Like even at so I'm dieting at 275 carb, right? And I'm hungry throughout the day. Like I'm like it's some days it's like man I need to eat, right? So
Would you
it's
say would you say
all
you're
relative.
hungry like the wolf?
Yes, hungry like the wolf.
There's my music redemption
Yeah,
for
yeah. There you go.
and that's the other thing. Like if I have a day where I hit 2100 calories, like I'm not that hungry. And if you were to do 2100 calories, you'd probably start biting someone's flesh.
Yes, I would be very hungry.
Oh man. All right. So our topic that we originally had in mind um, for today was on handling like single day events like the Super Bowl. But then we got to thinking and we were like, you know what? We've kind of talked about this with like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So if you are listening from last week with the intention of that, just go back to the Thanksgiving or the holiday type podcast, and that's how you would approach any single day event, right? Whether it's Whether it's Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Earth Day, Arbor Day, uh, any other
Taco
holiday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday. Yeah, just maybe not every week.
Yeah,
So what we got to talking about instead is how I have been. We got hit with like an inch and a half of ice, which Florida boy just now learning all this winter stuff for the first time at 36 years old. Apparently, that is way worse than like a foot of snow.
yeah. It's a little bit
And
harder to drive on.
so, because of that, they have closed the schools for the entire week, which means I have two kids home with me. So, we want to just talk about how sometimes life is going to throw you a snowball or curveball, and just kind of talk about some of my experience this week, kind of how I've been able to still navigate like getting enough calories. Because to touch on what I was talking about earlier, my hunger doesn't really get that high anymore. If anything, it's been hard for me with kids home, plus working, plus trying to de-ice the driveway, which I'll tell you how I did that in a minute. Taking care of the vehicles, making sure that the dogs have a place to go in the backyard, like doing all these things. My neighbor is almost 80 years old, um, helping take care of her, like doing all the same stuff for my house, doing it for her house too, right? Needless to say, my normal rhythm has been thrown off by a week like this. And
Yeah.
Tyler, you're in the Great White North, so you've more than once experienced a week like this. Although it's funny you said that you guys haven't gotten any snow yet, so
No. No.
Nashville's
Yeah.
beating
Yeah. 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 Apparently, yeah. Apparently, the global warming isn't such a great thing. Even like our mountains aren't even like getting a ton of snow right now. So like, it's a lot different. Like usually we get two or three, but we've hadn't had anything this year.
you, man. So the biggest thing I think for me has been realizing just how much not only do I crave a schedule, but so do my kids. And I'm curious if Quinn does this on days off or unexpected days off. Ellie and Jesse are very quick to be like, "Hey, this is my snack time," and like they'll point up the clock. Like Jesse knows his snack time, Ellie knows hers. Hey, this is my lunchtime. Well, this is when we'd normally do our first recess. This is when we'd go to specials. Like they're wanting structure and rhythm. And what I've found is that I also want structure and rhythm, but you're trying to blend two different worlds together to create it. So, what I've found has worked really well for me is just meal timing wise, adapt to their structure. So, I don't usually have a morning snack at like 10 a.m.,
Yeah.
but that's what they're kind of used to. So, I've been making sure that that's my morning snack. They eat at like 11:15 for their lunch, so they're kind of like hobbits, like both in
Yeah.
stature and in eating.
Yeah. What about second breakfast?
We've had but one yet. We've had but one yet. What about it?
Yeah.
What about elevensies, onesies,
Yeah.
afternoon tea, dinner, supper?
Don't think he knows anything about those either. But it's kind of wild how quickly we get put into our routines and our structure and things like that. And I find for myself, I mean, take like Christmas break for example, right? I think it's you just got to accept it's just not gonna be what you're used to, right? And there's always that maybe that frustration, right? Or you're thrown off your routine. I think you need to accept, yeah, it's just not going to be that way. But two, like you can still do your best to kind of stick to it as close as possible, right? Like that doesn't mean that we just have to completely throw out everything and just completely go 180-degree the other way. Like you can still keep some of that structure and still have the rough times that you eat your meals and work out or whatever that might look like. And so there is going to be that little like yin and yang, or I've used this kind of terminology in the past of like you're just going to bob and weave, right? Like it just looks a little different, but you still can eat the same foods. You can still roughly eat around the same times. Like depending on your partner's work schedule, or if you have like help from grandparents, like you can still probably get to the gym for the most part at roughly the same time. So yeah, like it is different, but that doesn't mean that we just completely go the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's been such a key way of how I've been viewing it is like I've literally heard your voice say bob and weave, and I've been applying that all week long because part of it's also given me a little bit of like, okay, how did I handle like the COVID lockdowns, and how if I handled it for luckily we were in Florida, we were basically shut down for like a month, and then get back to the beach. So I was reflecting on that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, what were the good habits from that I want to try to implement this week because it is just for a week, and the workouts have been a little different because it's mostly just been okay. I usually like part of my daily routine is I will normally call my dad at like 6:30 in the morning after Nikki and the kids leave for school. So like I'll call my dad, just start talking with him, and usually I'm on my walking pad. But if I get on the walking pad talking with Grandpa while kids are home, one,
Yeah.
they think my walking pad's a toy. Two, they want to talk to Grandpa. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's just walk and pace around the house and maybe go up and down the stairs a couple of times. And hey, I'll hand the phone to the kids and let them talk with Grandpa. So just adapting, just like you said, adapting. Now, the thing that I'm finding from taking this week off, which is probably not a surprise to many, is those little tiny nagging aches that are always like a 1 or a 2 out of 10. Like I might get a little bit of stiffness in the knee where I don't have the meniscus, or
Yeah.
I might get just that little tiny flare up of shoulder pain just from a slight impingement.
Yeah.
Those have been a 0 out of 10 from taking time away.
Right. So it's like almost a good thing, right? Like, and so I think too, like it can be one of those like blessings in disguise, maybe where yeah, you've been pushing hard in the gym like, for weeks, months, all that kind of stuff, and like it could be just even that little break that the body needs, where it's like, hey, you know what? Like I was just ignoring these things because I was just kind of pushing through, and it's given that body like a chance to heal up, and so it's kind of almost like a mini diet break or like a deload week or something along those lines where it's like yeah it could be just exactly what the doctor ordered in terms of just maybe feeling a little bit better.
And I think that this is one of those subtle blessings in disguise for me as far as taking a week off because like next week we're closing on our house and then we have a little overlap with the place that we're in where we're going to be able to take our time like hey let's repaint the inside of the new house, let's kind of update like I never thought I'd say these words but let's get rid of the millennial gray.
Yeah,
so like
you're gonna be like Frank the Tank from old school. Well, we got a really nice morning. Might go to Home Depot, go check out some drapes. Should be a fun little morning.
dude that has totally become me in my 30s and
Yeah,
I'm all about it like I think Frank the Tank has given a little bit of inspiration to my alter ego of Phil the Thrill.
yeah, yeah. I hear what you mean.
So like we've got that planned for like the back end of next week and probably the following week, and then start slowly moving stuff in, then eventually get the big like once we're you know probably like 75% moved out, then it's okay, now let's get all the big stuff in one day, get into the new place, be done. And with that also comes I'm going to have to be ordering some gym equipment again and then assembling that. And I'm thinking about okay, I was kind of on a trajectory where the end of February would have been my next like deload week down to just like 2 full body days for the week, RPE like 6 on everything, like 3 to 4 sets per muscle group. But taking this week off, I think it's going to shift that back and it's actually going to allow me to be a little better recovered
Yeah,
for a physically demanding week
yeah.
or two that are going to be coming up.
That's a work.
So,
That's me. That's
well, you want to know what I found was a workout was breaking up ice on my driveway.
you get like good old pickaxe out there and have at her.
Pickaxe, damn it, that would have been the better tool. So here's what I did. Okay, and you're probably going to laugh at me, and I actually want to get your input on this. And if anybody has input on this, tell me. So we got snow on Saturday, like a solid two
Yeah.
inches of snow.
Yep.
Then we had the inch and a half of freezing rain that created a sheet of ice on top of it on Sunday. And then we had an unexpected extra like half inch of snow on Monday. Well, what I did was Saturday, whenever the snow was done falling, I went and because before it all came, I put the de-icer stuff on the driveway. Well, then I shoveled the snow, and I'm wondering, was that my mistake? Should I have let the salt stay there with the snow, and then whenever the ice came on top of it, then been able to come in and break it up? Would that have been easier?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, it may have not made a difference with like an inch and a half of ice either. Like, because we've had like some freezing rainstorms too in the past, and like, I don't really think unless you've got like the trucks out there laying down all like the salt and everything, like it's gonna make that much of a difference. But like, it's something to experiment with next time. I mean, I would think it would have been probably a little bit better just to leave the de-icer there. But yeah, with that much, and if it's coming down like that quick, it may have just not made a difference in the long run, anyways.
I did put more of the de-icer down after I shoveled the snow.
Right. I probably would have I probably shoveled the snow and then put the de-icer down and then just left it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I did the right thing.
that's what I would have done.
Okay, so with the other bad thing about the place we're in now is that our driveway faces like dead center north,
Okay.
and it's a two-story
Yeah.
house with a fairly short driveway. So the sun does not hit that at all. So it's cooler in the shade. Our driveway does not melt, but then you look across the street with all the south-facing driveways, and it's like perfectly melted after like 24 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
you lucky bastards.
Yeah.
We So what I did first, I'm out there trying to like use the shovel to get it up, and I bought this shovel last year on Amazon. It was the only one that would be delivered before our initial snow came last year. And it's one of these like you can take it apart, it like breaks apart for easy storage. It's like, okay, cool. It's Tennessee. Shouldn't really have the need for a super heavy duty like
Yeah.
metal shovel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm out there and it's just not getting under the ice on Sunday, and I'm like, oh no, this is going to take me forever. So then, me being caveman, ice, fire. I grab a torch
Yeah.
and the big 5 pound propane tank, and I'm standing there like right in front of the ice, and I'm just blasting it with like a
Yeah.
big heavy blue flame.
Yeah.
And the ice is so thick that I'm literally sitting there for like probably a good like 5 minutes, just
Yeah.
thinking you got to start melting at some point, and then it didn't.
Yeah. Just leave it at that point.
So I can see the water starting to separate between the ice, the sheet of ice, and the concrete. Like I can see water moving. So I'm like, okay, there's some separation, and then that water's going to go somewhere. So I put the torch down. I grab the shovel and I use the back end, and I just start beating it like it owes me money. It took me about 20 minutes, but I did clear the driveway just beating the ice to death, basically.
Yeah, you must have been just sweating.
Dude, I was like red faced from the cold.
Yeah.
So I used my hunting gear because it's insulated. So like when I took my hunting overalls off, I'm like, oh my God, this is like the wettest that they have ever been. My shirt is soaked, my jeans are soaked. I've got thick wool socks on. My feet are just like
Yeah.
almost in swamp water.
Oh,
So pickaxe.
yeah. Try that next.
Okay, I'm going to use a pickaxe next time.
Yeah. See how that goes.
You know what? Anything's got to be better than the plastic shovel,
Yeah.
because here's the other problem.
Yeah.
At one point, I was about halfway through and I gave it a good whack, and then the plastic like shovel head breaks off, and it just lands on the ice, and it's on the sloped driveway and just keeps going down
Yeah.
slowly. And I'm like,
That's what, yeah. You walk in, you get inside, pour yourself a tall whiskey, and go, all right, you know what? Not today.
so I was stubborn. I took my drill because I can fix anything. I go Tim Taylor on stuff. Oh, I take my drill, pre-drill through, and I put like 3 or 4 screws through it in like multiple crossing patterns. I'm like, if you're breaking, but this isn't acceptable level of break. You're not broken enough.
Love it. I love it.
So, what about you? How does your training change up in like an oddball week like this?
Yeah, I mean, recent examples. I think it's hard to give a what is quote unquote normal just because like Steph's on mat leave for a year, and so haven't had to like make too many adjustments at this point because I mean now there's someone there to watch the kids, and then I'm home, and you just kind of continue on as normal. So I mean, projecting ahead though, because Steph's gonna be back in work in July, like I mean, it's gonna be all brand new because now there's two kids instead of just one, right? And like this is the first time that we're gonna have summer break and all of that comes with that. And so I'm sure there's gonna be just some things to figure out. And I mean, this is just where I really like having less frequency of training. Because it just allows for a lot more room of flexibility of like, okay, if I can't go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, well, guess what? I still got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or even Sunday to get my training in, right? Maybe my time's probably gonna have to adjust because Steph's gonna have to get off to work, and then one is gonna have like we're gonna have to get Riley to daycare and then Quinn to school, and so like I'm sure the time that I go to the gym is gonna change. So instead of being able to go at 8 in the morning like I am right now, probably gonna have to then just kind of push it till 10. And I mean, I know that's pretty lucky because I do work from home, and so I have a little bit more flexibility with that. But there is just gonna be some of those adjustments. But like again, this is where like I purposely like try and keep my frequency of training down because like I don't need to be in the gym 5 days a week. Like even 4 days can be a push sometimes where it's like I just feel too rushed. It's stress. Like it feels like it's too much. And so like 3 days is just like perfect because it again allows. And then if I can't get a whole workout in, well, guess what? I still got maybe another day I can just go in and make up a couple exercises, and then that's that, right? And so I think looking at the context as a whole and going, okay, like what you know 4 days is realistic. Like I could do 4 days, but I know from like past experience, it feels like too much, right? And I just know I don't like that. I don't feel like like how I'm feeling up against kind of time in the wall each and every single week to try and get 4 workouts in. And so it's like, okay, like let's go down to 3 because that makes it a little less stressful, gives me a little bit more flexibility. And then I also don't stress. Well, I shouldn't say don't stress, but I try not to stress too much if I just miss a workout. Like it's just a drop in the bucket compared to like 10 years of consistency and just not missing a whole lot of workouts in that time frame too, right? And so I think it's also just going like, yeah, knowing like one meal doesn't make you fat, one day doesn't make you fat. Missing one workout isn't going to make you lose all of your progress, right? And so again, kind of having that flexible mentality, that bob and weave mentality of just like, yeah, it's you know what, this week just I was only able to get 2 in. It's fine. It's really not that big of a deal. It's gonna, it probably won't happen next week, like because it's a different week. It's a little less hectic maybe or whatever. So, I think it's just kind of looking at some of those things, and from an eating perspective, I think that can still be like a fairly, in our control. But just really being purposeful with having some of that meal prep. Like with this, recent dieting phase, like I was just noticing, like I'm kind of like consistently 35 to 50 grams short on my protein. And that was like, just like eating like normal. It's like, okay, like I'm noticing this, pick up a pack of chicken breasts, and I just throw those in the air fryer, a nice little rub, and then I keep that in the fridge just to kind of help me get those extra 25 to 50 grams each day. And that's right there ready to go. Having some veggies prepped, that type of stuff. Really utilizing leftovers, sandwiches, Greek yogurt, very simple things that don't take a lot of time to prepare, but I'm still able to get my meals in, get my fiber in, get my macros, all of those things. And I think very much just trying to closely stick to regular eating times, right? Because the body's going to adjust. It's going to kind of learn that, right? And so basically really trying to stick to a routine as much as possible. Again, there's going to be the flexibility and the ups and downs, and one day maybe me eating dinner a little bit later than I usually do, or like last night, like I was so hungry, like I had dinner by like 5 o'clock, right? Because I was so hungry. So I had it 30 to 45 minutes earlier than I normally did, but that's fine. Like I was full, and then I was good until bedtime, right? And so it's just starting to recognize some of those patterns and like getting to know your body, like vis-a-vis us talking about like my metabolism and how I know what I can handle and what I can get away with, really. Like I just kind of have an idea of what that is, and I kind of just day to day like kind of just take with whatever that day brings, but keeping like a rough, let's call it 80% structure.
Yeah. I love that. I love thinking big picture. I love stepping back and looking at the entire body of work, because if you are someone that you've been training for years, like let's say at least you've been training for at least 3 years. One missed workout, not a big deal. And I think the longer you've been consistently training, the more and more it makes that, like, hey, taking a random week off unexpectedly is less and less of an impact. Like we've gosh, I've been lifting for over 20 years now. You've been lifting for around that same amount of time, right? Like, hey, missing a workout. If you look at like the span of 20 years, how many days did you work out versus how many days did you not? It can be mind boggling to even start to try to fathom what those two numbers look like. And in comparison of, well, how big is that number of days I have worked out versus the average bear who
Yeah.
probably has
Well,
a lot more days has of
yeah,
not working out in the last
right?
3 years.
Like I've probably missed less than 50 days of training in over whatever 15, 20 years, right? Like so you put it like that and it's like, okay, yeah, like it's really not going to be the end of the world. Like you're going to be fine. And then if you even want to count it as like a deload week, well, do I even count that as missing a workout? Well, no, like it just ended up being a non-traditional deload week, but I didn't really miss anything.
Right. And for anybody that's about to be like super, super stickler, notice what Tyler said was missed a training day, like missed a workout. Again, it's not like, oh, well, Tyler's saying he's lifting 7 days a week. That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
ridiculous. But like, hey, if you have 3 or 4 days of the week that you're scheduled to lift, one, that makes the schedule a lot better. It's less demanding. But then number two, yeah, you have more flexibility to move that missed day to another day if possible. And then in the grand scheme of things, if you miss a day or two, yeah, not that big of a deal. Anyways, man, I know we've kind of just like rolled off the cuff with
Yeah.
this one. Was there anything else you were wanting to cover on this topic?
No, I mean, I just think like, and I just don't think it can be talked about enough. Is just trying to have you want to be intentional, but like I find you need to be relaxed with it too, right? Like just it's fine. Like don't worry about it. Like if you're having a high level of consistency, having those, it's not again the end of the world. It's not that big of a deal. Like it shouldn't be something where we're beating ourselves up, right? Like I've talked to people like, hey, we should take a diet break. I don't want to break. I need to keep going because then I feel like I'm going backwards, and it's just like, man, like we need to chill, right? Like I'm about to take 3 weeks off, right? And like I'm so excited about it to just kind of have a little bit of a break. Still gonna be tracking probably pretty heavily Monday through Friday, and then when I'm having those events, like I'm gonna be try and be cognizant of not getting too crazy, and then that's where some of the bad habits, because I'm like, well, I know I'm probably gonna be okay, right? But like, it's gonna be fine. Like, yeah, scale will be up, but it's gonna come right back down, and it's in the long run, it's not. It's just yeah, we need to be relaxed but be intentional.
I think the closing thought I want to leave with before we do another round of blind rank is knowing how to differentiate between a reason for not doing something and an excuse for not doing something. Like, again, my reason for not working out, for not going to the gym to work out this week has been roads are super icy. It's really not that safe around here to be out and about because you can be the best driver in the world, but all it takes is someone else. ICE doesn't care about what type of vehicle you drive or the type of tires you have. Like, I'm driving around in a Jeep Wrangler that is pretty heavy, steel bumpers. I've got a winch. I've got all terrain tires that are rated for snow, but they're not
Not,
rated for ice.
yeah.
So,
You get your ice
like,
skates on and get to the gym.
somebody did that. They posted a picture of the sidewalks and just
Yeah,
how frozen they were, and they're in the neighborhood that connects
yeah.
to the Anytime Fitness I go to. So they in like the little Facebook group for that page, they're like, "Hey, check it out! I'm literally ice skating to the gym," and they're like on the sidewalk. I actually ice skating. I was like, "That's freaking awesome."
I mean, it's awesome, but you want to wreck your blades? Go and do that. I personally wouldn't like. Yeah, I wouldn't want to wreck my blades.
So other people have what they did was they set up like a tarp and then some PVC pipes, and then they essentially were making like a form in
Yeah,
their backyard and keeping
nice.
everything nice and level to do like a little mini ice
Yeah,
rink. I was like,
I like
is
that.
that's
That's awesome.
cool. But like again, I have a valid reason. Like one, it's as a father, I don't want to get T-boned crossing the one intersection I have to cross to get to the gym. That there are trucks going all down that highway. I don't want to get T-boned by a freaking rock truck or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then, hey, what happened to your dad? Why did he die whenever you were young? Oh, he got T-boned by a truck going to the gym.
yeah. Just so he could go do some bicep curls.
Right. Like, no,
Yeah,
that's okay. So,
yeah,
like, that's a valid reason. Hey, it's literally not safe for me to leave my home to go to the gym. I have my kids with me. There's no childcare there. Okay, I have dumbbells at home. I have stairs that I can do Bulgarian split squats. I can do decline, incline push ups all day long. I can do dips fairly ergonomically for my shoulder. Like I can do some things here. Taking a week off from the gym, but still getting in movement. That's not just going, well, screw it. I'm watching Netflix all day long and I'm going to go from Lord of the Rings to Star Wars to Harry Potter to all of my nerdoms
yeah,
while also eating a bunch of, Little Debbie snack cakes and
yeah,
drinking a bunch of hot chocolate and getting in all these calories. And now I've put on like 10 pounds in a week just because there was some ice on the roads. So differentiate between a reason for doing something versus an excuse for just not doing it. With that being said, blind rank, I've got two ready to go today.
okay,
So we're going to continue on with the randomized Pokemon.
okay. I like it.
First out of the gate, Paris. That's
That's like
five.
that. Yeah, that's 5. I don't think I
That's the
ever.
little like
Yeah,
mushroom half crab looking dude.
yeah,
All right,
yeah. I don't think
five.
I've ever used that one.
All right, I'm gonna go. All right, next is Electabuzz. I'm gonna go three.
Yeah, that's a good like late game one and like kind of a rare one to find. Yeah, I'll go 3.
If you could get him earlier, like
Yeah,
imagine if you could get him before Misty, that would
yeah,
be
that would be
so
huge. Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, because usually you don't get a good electric one even before that. Like, I know there's like little glitches where you can maybe try and get like a Pikachu or something, but like it's pretty hard to get something before that gym.
In red and blue, you could get a Pikachu in Viridian Forest. There's like
Yeah,
one square way off to the left where you
yeah,
like
but
just
you have
walk
to walk
around.
it a lot.
Man, that was such a
Yeah,
pain in the ass.
yeah, and then you
It was
wouldn't get
harder to
it.
spawn
Yeah,
than the Pidgeotto in yellow that was like level 9.
yeah, yeah. And then you just got to work your way through a bunch of metapods. Like, oh my god.
No thanks. All right, so 3.
Yeah,
Boy, all right, next up, ChatGPT. I think I figured out ChatGPT's favorite
yeah.
Pokemon.
Lapras.
Lapras.
Next time you got to go when you do the prompt. Go no Lapras.
No Lapras. All right, I'm going 2. Like I'm not going to put it 1. I'm
Yeah,
going 2.
let's go 2.
All right. Next up, Raticate. You have
Well,
5,
I'm gonna go 4 there.
4.
Like can be good. Like I always like the idea sometimes of trying to go like long game with Eradicate, but then by the time you get to like with that like what Solodian City or whatever, where you're like fighting Rocket underneath like the
Oh yeah, Celadon. Yeah.
Celadon, yeah, that's where I was like, okay, it's just not powerful enough.
No, like that's whenever it's like time to abandon the normal type Pokemon, unless it's like your flying one for the sake of having fly. Yeah, Raticate's good early game, but then by mid game, it's like,
Hyper Fang only does so much.
yeah, like early on, Hyper Fang is such a powerful move, and then he's also fast, so he attacks first a lot of times. Yeah, I'm gonna go four, and then number one by default, Dragonite. Like that's a solid
Yeah.
number one. But I think that this is also like the third time that GPT's given us Dragonite.
Well, I think we got yeah, because we got Dratini once, I think.
Oh, that's
I
what
think
I
that's
think
what
that's
it
what I'm thinking.
was. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, Dragonite, like when you're doing that final four and you get to that fifth guy. Oh man, I remember like the first time the playthrough of the game. This is before all of that, so you would know. You finally got through all four of them, and they're like, "But wait, there's one more." You're like, "Fuck! I already used all my potions, my revives. What the hell?"
Right,
And you
like
gotta
I'm
go fight
out of
like a Dragonite.
Earthquake.
Yeah,
Like I'm out of Earthquake. I don't have Psychic left anymore.
yeah,
And I just had all of my Pokemon get tanked.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
got one Pokemon surviving on like 20 HP,
yeah,
and now I've got to go fight my rival.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Thanks for that.
yeah,
And then you have to work through the entire Elite Four again. Man,
yep.
that was just the absolute pits. So my next blind rank is I said we're gonna randomize NFL quarterbacks, select them though off of the top 20 all time for passing yards.
Okay.
So I feel like that's a good
Yeah,
filter. Now,
yeah,
this obviously this isn't like, hey, rank them on their passing yard, but like, okay, you've got to build a team. You can pick a quarterback. Like, where are you putting them? Like, is this the quarterback you want or not? First out the gate, I got to be honest. I think this is a bit of a sleeper, Matt Ryan.
Matty Ice. I want to say he never got a Super Bowl, did he?
They lost the infamous 28-3
Yeah,
to Tom Brady, but
I so
he was
I want to
also
go like
on.
3 or 4.
I'm as a Bucks fan, and that's the only reason why I'm not ranking him three. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go four.
yeah. I'll
He was on a lot of bad Falcons teams. Like there was a lot of years where he was the
the
offense, but then
only.
like once he had like prime Julio Jones,
Yeah,
totally
that's when he
different
took off.
story.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4 too because yeah,
All right. Oh, next up, Philip Rivers. Also
I'll
never
go.
won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll go 3. I always liked him. I mean, I always liked those Charger teams. LT, Antonio Gates, all of like that whole team. So I'll go 3. I think he was a gunslinger.
Yeah, a solid reasoning. I'm gonna go a little contrarian. I'm gonna go five. I'm going to go five. From one Chargers quarterback to a former Chargers quarterback, Drew Brees.
I'm gonna go. Man, he was. I'm gonna go
That's a,
2.
I was going
He
to say
was.
that's a possible number one.
I'm saving my one for hopefully someone.
Okay. All right. Brees two. Roethlisberger is next up. So I've got one and three remaining. I think you've got one and five.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I'm going 5 just by default because I'm hoping to save my one.
all right. I'm going to go three for Big Ben.
Although he was awesome in the pocket.
Number one, future Hall of Famer, Buccaneers legend, Tom Brady.
I thought you were gonna say was Gannon or something. Yeah, I mean that's kind of who I was saving for number one. I mean, I loved him at the Patriots. Like I was like kind of the opposite of everybody. I loved the Patriots dynasty because I think it's cool that you can be that good for that long. Like that's not easy to do in any sport, right? And so like to be able to sustain that level of excellence across like 20 years, like it's so impressive.
So not only that, but this isn't me trying to be a homer, but in someone's opinion, I'm sure I am. But he took that culture from New England to an absolute garbage, no culture, no leadership franchise. And in a few months, changed the trajectory. Like whenever we went from Jameis Winston to Tom Brady, the feel was just immediately different. Like even the first preseason game without Brady going out there, it was like you can see the difference of the defense. You can see the expectations are set higher. Offense played at a higher level, defense played at a higher level, special teams played at a higher level. There was there was no more like, yeah, I mean like I'm good and I know I can be a starter. Like everybody now had that same purpose of I'm playing this game to win a freaking Super Bowl. I'm not playing this game for any other reason. I'm playing to win. And the fact that he took us from I think we were 7-9 that last year with Jameis, and that was his 30 touchdowns and 30 interception season.
Wild. It's just so wild. Like so good, but so bad.
You have no idea how frustrating it is to watch somebody have the glimpses of brilliance for 5 years and have as many just absolute boneheaded throws and plays and horrible decision making. Look, I love a Jameis Winston interview as much as the next guy, and I love somebody suggested Jameis should just be like the backup for all teams. Like, hey, your quarterback goes down, congrats, you've got Jameis until he's
Yeah.
back,
You
and he's
know you
free agent.
can. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But we went from 7-9, and like the year before we were 5-11. For 2 years in a row with Dirk Cutter. Like we went from bad to
Yeah.
world champions.
Yeah.
And even the games that we lost, there was only one game we lost that year where it was like we got our ass beat. But all the other games, it was like, yeah, we may have lost those handful of games. I think we lost 5 games that season, but they were close. And then the way Brady just turned on in the playoffs in the following season, for him to statistically have an even better year,
It's crazy.
I mean, he just completely changed it. So him not getting MVP that year, I think, was just absolute robbery
Yeah.
because of what he did. The difference he made from 7-9 to 11-5 and winning a Super Bowl. One player was all that changed on that offensive line that year, besides Tristan Wirfs, who was a rookie.
Yeah.
One player.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's it.
It's pretty rare when one player can come in like basketball. Outside of basketball, like one player usually doesn't make that much of a difference. So yeah,
Right.
he's
And
all time.
unless we're talking, Kobe or MJ.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for listening. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe. It really continues to help us grow. So if you're interested in getting some help with your health and fitness goals, head over to fitbodinstitute.com and go ahead and get a free 30-minute metabolic assessment done. Until next time, see ya.
See ya.